Hey, this is Liz from People I Think Are Cool, a bi-weekly podcast where I interview my favorite creatives from across the globe. If you're looking for a dose of creative inspiration, then go to peopleithinkarecool.com or subscribe to People I Think Are Cool on iTunes and Stitcher.
You like film, from cult to classic, from blockbuster to B-movies. And there just isn't that one place with all the fan fervor and passion that's covering the kind of mad, diverse brilliance that you love.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
AfterMovieDiner.com is that fan-built movie nirvana just for you, featuring the sweet, sweet writings of the wife dork herself. AfterMovieDiner.com. Go there. Be the best you can be.
You are listening to the In the Mouth of Dorkness podcast, the official podcast of the Alamo Drafthouse, Winchester.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the It Modcast podcast. Joining me is Brian Young, the Turtle Dork.
Happy Friday, folks.
And also joining me is Lisa Gullickson, Wife Dork.
Hello. I was going to make the Cardi B sound, and then I wimped out.
And also
Brad did it.
joining
That
me
was not me.
is Brad Gullickson, Mouth Dork.
Brian, you got to get cheery, man. You're like, hey, how's it going? How's it going?
He's really-
It's Friday, man,
been a
and this is
long
an
week.
epic episode. One of our favorite episodes.
An episode.
Yeah. Because I got like 8 movies, so I got to cut like 3 of them.
He
and I
didn't do
don't-
his homework. He's like, the bell hath rung.
When does
and he-
Brian do his homework on Fistfuls?
Don't.
Uh,
But I have a list.
Oh,
That
that's
is
good.
good. That is an improvement.
Let's
and
go,
I'm your
Darryl.
host, Darren Smith, the Disco Dork. And welcome to another edition of the It Modcast podcast. Fistful Friday.
I can't do it. I can't.
Brian,
Can't do it.
ladies. Brian cannot roll his tongue.
can't
I
roll
think
my
that's
tongue.
really pertinent information.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa, no, hold on.
Oh, man.
He's a fish man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the summer has come and gone. We're now heading into the fall season of cinema. And what we do annually is we drop our top 5 most anticipated films of the fall. And that's going to take us throughout to the end of the year, just so you know. So let's jump right into it. Brian, your number 5 most anticipated movie for the end of 2019.
All right. Okay. Oh, Kurt.
No effort, what just dry ass tongue. Oh, Kurt.
Oh, Kurt.
It's oh, Kurt.
How dry do you want it?
Cardi B is so disappointed in you.
I know she is. I'm sorry. I am going to go. Well, you know what? Because I know some of these movies you guys are going to have on your list. So I'm going to do mine a little bit different. I'm looking forward to a lot of these movies that you guys are possibly going to say.
I mean, this is Brad's list. So mine will repeat, I'm sure.
It probably,
We
yeah.
all...
We'll all have some crossover.
We're gonna have some crossover.
Yeah, we'll all have some crossover. Okay. 5, Terminator Dark Fate.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
You are a glutton for punishment.
No, I'm not.
I anticipate never seeing that trailer again with that sad-ass Bjork cover.
No, the new one. The
Yeah,
new one's
I saw the
good.
new one.
The new one I like.
It's a little
I
bit
like
better.
It. I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
I saw
It's
your
good.
trailer reaction.
Yeah, I like it. Well, look,
I'm with Darren. I'm hiding behind my mic because this movie does not look good to me.
Oh man, see, I haven't been. I never saw Genesis. Is that what it was called? Genesis.
Genesis.
Genesis. I never saw that.
You know who
You're
loves
about
that
to.
movie? You know who loves Genesis?
Who?
Billy Dash, the indie dork.
Oh, I love him.
Loves that film.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Take that as you will.
Shout out to the indie dork. I'm looking forward to this because they're retconning all the other sequels. We've seen this
Again.
before. I know we've seen this before, but James Cameron is coming.
To direct?
See, this is why it's my number 5. I'm looking forward to it. I like the last trailer. I like Linda Hamilton coming back. Sarah Connor is an iconic character that we've lived with for decades, and to see her coming back into the fold.
I'm curious.
Now knowing that they are bringing Eddie Furlong back, I know. But the consistency, the continuity. I'm intrigued by it. I'm interested to see if they can really kind of jumpstart a new trilogy, which they've said before. Okay,
And James Cameron endorsed Genesis as well.
Yeah, but he wasn't a part of it.
Okay.
He wasn't like a producer on it. I'm gonna. This is gonna be my King Arthur.
No, I
You
hope
hope.
so.
You
love that
hope.
movie.
Shit, I was settled for a King Arthur from Terminator. Shit.
Look, and I'm not defending the franchise because they've screwed the pooch on the last 2 movies.
Up the butt.
Salvation was terrible, the Christian Bale one, and
It's not good.
and even Terminator 3, I wasn't a big fan of.
I'll tell you what, the last couple have made Terminator 3 look pretty good.
Yeah, you're right.
Actually, I kind of like a lot about Terminator 3, but
I'm looking.
Darren's doing a lot of mic hiding today.
I'm looking.
I wish I
forward.
had like an invisibility cloak. Don't see
I'm
me.
looking forward to it. It's
Bless your heart. I love you,
my
Brian.
number 5.
All right, Lisa.
Yes.
Your
For-
number 5.
For my number 5, I like to pick a film that I'm looking forward to that is in the near future. This one comes out on September 13th, and it is The Goldfinch.
Oh.
It is directed by John Crowley, who's an Irish director. He directed Brooklyn. I know that Brad and I saw it. We thought it was okay.
You
Saoirse
liked it.
Saoirse
Ronan?
Ronan.
Yeah, I was not a fan of it, but Lisa liked it.
Well, I was excited about it because it was based on a book not by Nick Hornby, but it was a Nick Hornby script.
So who's in this one?
This one is Ansel Elgort.
Oh.
He plays this guy. When he was a kid, he was in a bombing at a museum.
Yeah.
And his mother was killed, but he left with this painting of a goldfinch. And I tried not to read too much about this. Excuse me while I move my microphone. I know that tortures Darren on the boards, but I can't see my screen, you guys. But this is what I have gathered from watching the trailer like 1,000 times. 2, or maybe I'm going to say, 2 of the films are on my most anticipated on strength of trailer alone. I think that the Goldfinch trailer is really intriguing. Like I said, Ansel Elgort as a child, he's in an explosion in a museum. He steals a painting. He loses his mom. And the story seems to be a split story between his character as a child dealing with the loss of his mom and the present as he continues to nurse those childhood wounds along with hiding this treasure, this painting from the world. And the trailer promises to go to some pretty dark places. It's based on a Pulitzer Prize winning novel that I'm curious to read, but like most novels, I'll never get around to, so I'm going to watch the movie, or like it called, the easy reading. The easy reading. It's got a really cool cast. Jeffrey Wright seems to be in like a mentor role. Finn Wolfhard plays a peer, like somebody he meets as a child, but then he's played by another actor as an adult, I guess. Nicole Kidman, she might be like an adopted mother or aunt. Sarah Paulson's in there being Sarah Paulson-y. I'm into it. I think it looks really interesting. I like a crimey film, and it looks like a real artistic drama.
Okay.
I'm into it. I'm curious. I'm
hear you.
anticipating it.
And that's what you said next week?
Yeah, September 13th.
Right now, today. Go out and see it.
Yeah.
All right. Brad, your number 5.
Yeah, I'm in an artistic drama kind of mood as well. This film, though, comes out also in September, not the 13th, but I think it shares a lot of DNA with The Goldfinch. It comes out on September 20th. It is it's Last Blood, the new Rambo movie.
I should have
mother-
smelled that sarcasm. It was salty.
I was thinking about that.
I feel a
one,
little bit like Brian here with his Terminator Dark Fate optimism. I think the Rambo franchise probably has just as many bad movies as the Terminator franchise, but I love those bad movies, right?
Keep chucking along. They
I
ain't
mean,
reconning.
First Blood is a legit great film. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's an incredibly powerful piece of work, and I think still holds Stallone's finest performance. First Blood Part 2, Rambo, It's very 80s. James Cameron wrote the
He
script.
did write the script. Yeah.
It's the tide is turning. It's becoming much more of an action film.
Yeah.
We're in Reagan's America. We're going to finally
80s.
have our vengeance on the tragedy that was the Vietnam War. Then Rambo 3 happens and it's nuts. All right, and it's probably just a straight bad movie, but I really loved it as a kid. It's so goofy and violent, and it's Rambo and the Taliban going out against the Russians. Hurrah! And then Rambo 4, or just Rambo, incredibly bizarre film in the sense of how crazy violent that movie is.
Yeah.
I think it's trying to recapture the mood of the first film, but maintaining the insane violence. And actually, it takes the violence of the franchise to new heights. First Blood Part 2 and Rambo 3 are nothing in tone of violence like Rambo. Like, it's just bodies exploding everywhere. And I kind of love it. All right. And at the end of that film, Rambo finally goes home. He returns to America, puts boots on U.S. soil, and we have Last Blood, the final installment. It's a short cropped Rambo haircut, and I guess Rambo's going against the cartels, and I am a little concerned about the politics of this movie. You know, being 2019, I can't separate Trump's America from anything anymore, and maybe we shouldn't. And Rambo could be a very troubling character.
It can go
for-
into some peppermint type.
but like the reality
That
is,
fucking movie. God
but
damn.
Sorry to bring up past trauma.
it could go into those uncomfortable heights. But I mean, honestly, Rambo 3, where it goes politically, is incredibly troubling if you're living in the 1980s while you're watching that movie. So, like, Brad, if I was 40 years old watching Rambo 3 in 1980 whatever, I'd probably be really uncomfortable with that film. But I was 10 years old watching Rambo 3, and I didn't know what was going on politically. So I think Last Blood, even if it is speaking to a bizarre Trumpian politic, would be in keeping with where the franchise went. So I don't know. I'm incredibly curious. I'm cautious. There's a little danger around the film that I'm concerned about, but I am stoked to see it. And I love Stallone, and I love old Stallone. And while old Stallone hasn't produced nearly as many good movies as I'd like, he's produced a lot of good movies than Schwarzenegger.
Tell the people how you're going to see that movie, B.
Well, I'm going to hold out. I'm going to wait until after Fantastic Fest because the Alamo Drafthouse in Winchester, Virginia is showing all 5 Rambos in one sit. And there's no way I'm missing that.
Are you going to be there, Darren? I'm going to be there too.
Brian?
I'll make it out.
Yes,
I'll make it out.
this is amazing. We should all go shirtless. We should
Oh,
all just cut
hold on
off
now.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with
What
that.
are they? Armrests up. That's what I say.
What's the date? Do I got time to hit the gym?
I think
know,
it's
right?
the 28th.
All right, I got a
Because on
few weeks.
The 29th is our still awesome screening of Dark Man.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. All right, B. We got to
right.
get them gains.
Oh wait, it's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you'll probably be busy working.
Yeah, I'm working.
You're a very important gentleman.
Is he though? What?
But I mean, it's going to be fascinating to watch all 5 back to back to track the tone shift of that franchise.
Yeah.
Especially considering that I think I've only seen one Rambo film, and that is Rambo First Blood.
Yeah, you see
I haven't
First Blood,
seen
yeah.
any of the follow-up Bloods.
She's probably going to sleep through the next.
You are correct, sir.
Well, just your presence there is enough, Lisa.
Armrests up.
All right, so there you go. Last Blood. That's
All
my
right.
5.
All right, my number 5 comes out November 8th. And I'm not doing mine in any particular order. Because truth be told, I want to see each of these films, all 5 of these films. My anticipation for all 5 of them are equally as high.
There's not one on your list that's higher than the others?
maybe one, and by the time I get to my 2 and my number 1, I'll have made a decision. But as of right now, they're all at the same level of anticipation. And this one, November 8th, is Honey Boy, starring Shia LaBeouf, Lucas Hedges, and Noah Jupe, FKA Twigs, directed by Alma Harrell, if I'm pronouncing that right. From my understanding, it's sort of an autobiographical tale. You've seen this, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Lisa and I have both seen it.
And
It's like based on his like rehab diaries or something.
yeah, and so I'm somewhat aware of what was going on with him in the news publicly the last couple of years, and but on the flip side of that, having just watched, me and the Turtle Dork caught Peanut Butter Falcon a couple weeks ago, and just his performance, and it wasn't just the performance in that particular film. I've thought highly of his acting for a while now, but just seeing that movie, Turtle Dork and I, we had a conversation afterwards. It was almost like not even like an epiphany or whatever, but we were just like, damn, man, Shia LaBeouf is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, just a reaffirmation of just how good he is.
Yeah, and like we said before, like you say what you will about the films he's in, the surrounding films, whether it be like the Transformers franchise or whatever, but if you look, I'll use that as an example, like him in the Transformers franchise. If you block out all the Michael Bay noise, all the issues on set and all that stuff, if you just look at him and his dedication to his performance, I mean, you cannot even really give two shits about Sam Witwicky as a character. But if you look at Shia LaBeouf and his the effort that he's putting into that character and into that performance, just whether you like the manicness of it, the spastic nature of him, for me, I can tell that he fully commits. And then you hear, stories about, his method acting for films like Fury. But then you look at that juxtaposed with the performance in Fury, and whether or not you may feel like his method even, was warranted to get the performance you got. I mean, you can't deny that you can't deny that he shows up, for his roles, and he cares about these characters that he inhabits.
He really does, man, because I saw behind the scenes of, I want to say it was Transformers 3, one of them. I don't know. I can't remember now, but I saw behind the scenes with he was getting himself into character because he had to say goodbye to Bumblebee. And he was playing music, and he was like off in the corner, like you could see him really trying to get into this moment. And Michael Bay was like trying to rush him, and he was telling him, he was like, look, he was like, I'm trying to get into character because I have to say goodbye. And for him to go that deep for a movie like Transformers shows you the dedication that he has as an actor.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I genuinely do. And from my understanding, like, this totally doesn't, seeing the trailer, from hearing about the things that he touches upon in this film, reading articles and stuff like that, it doesn't seem like a vanity project in the sense that, from my understanding, it goes to some dark places. It does uncover some ugly truths about stuff that he was going through. And I can appreciate someone being that bare and vulnerable in a situation like that, where you're putting, pieces of your life up on the screen for public viewing.
I was afraid that it was going to be a masturbatory experience, and I was very much surprised at how interesting emotionally and narratively the movie is. I really liked Honey Boy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, and because you speak highly of it, coming back from the festival, and because I've heard and read other good things about it, and also because ultimately, like I said, I'm genuinely digging him as an actor and his performances. I'm excited to see that film. So that's going to be my number 5. B, have I spoken long enough to give you time to settle on a number 4?
Yeah, I think I kind of want to go a little bit more indie route. It just all depends. Actually, Honey Boy was going to be my next pick, but since you talked about it, I'll take that one off the
There are no
list.
wrong answers, Brian.
There really
talking
are.
about
They're-
Honey Boy?
No. But there's so many movies I want to see, so it just gives me an opportunity to talk about some other films. But I'm gonna talk about Queen and Slim.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Queen and Slim comes out November 27th. This is a film that is starring Daniel Kaluuya and what is the young lady's name? India Moore, I believe it is.
Oh yeah, this should be on my
And
list.
Looks gorgeous.
Yeah, so the IMDb, it looks amazing. The cinematography, I love that trailer. The IMDb synopsis is: a couple's first date takes an unexpected turn when the police officer pulls them over. And if you've seen the trailer, it kind of it's kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type story, kind of like an urban Bonnie and Clyde type story. But it seems like it's really going to be enriched with a lot of political, social commentary that's kind of going on now in this country. And it's written by Lena Waithe, who we know from shows like The Chi on Showtime, and she recently won an Emmy. and it is.
She was in Ready Player One. She was H.
Yeah, that's right. She was in Ready Player One too, so she's also an actress and directed by Melina Matsoukas. And I know her. I know her because I know her name because she's directed a lot of episodes of Insecure, which is a show that I am a huge fan of on HBO. That I did give you to watch. I know you probably only watched like one episode.
I'm waiting for you to get that Hitchcock thing out the way.
I know. Damn it, man! Stop bringing it up. But yeah. So I believe this may be her directorial debut from doing a lot of television. But it just looks like a fascinating project, and I'm on board for this movie. The trailer has really sold me on Queen and Slim. A smaller film that looks like it could be hopefully not say a big hit, but something that could really resonate and be something that could be a special film, hopefully.
All right, Wife Door, your number 4. That rhymes.
I'm taking my number 4 to be a major cop-out because I play super dirty. And it's going to be all of the Sundance films that I saw and loved, but now they're rolling out, so I get to see them shared with the world. And
Like Honey Boy?
Like Honey Boy was on my list, coming out November 8th. Little Monsters is coming out November 15th.
Oh shit.
Okay.
That's the Lupita Nyong'o kindergarten zombie film that I thought was super fun. The Report is also coming out
Yeah, I've heard great things
on
about
the
that.
15th. The Report, she's heavy. It's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, but it's a really good. If you want to get mad, dude, you can get fired up watching The Report. But of course, Adam Driver gives an amazing performance.
Man, that reminds me. He's having a hell of a year too.
Yeah, he is.
So many people good at their jobs. I liked him on Girls. I did, even though I stopped watching Girls because it was way too vomity. Coco Coco Day. If you want to watch a really quirky horror film,
Yay.
it's also. Is it going to be at Fantastic
Yeah.
Fest?
And Lost
and
Weekend.
Lost
I'm seeing it
Weekend.
Lost Weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, you can read my review of that at the aftermoviediner.com website.
Yeah.
John Crass has been listening to the pod lately.
Oh hey.
We
Be the
love
best
that guy.
you can be.
And then on my birthday, this isn't exactly a birthday movie, but on December 27th, my favorite film of the festival, Clemency, is coming out. First-time director, Shinoye Chukwu. Uh-oh. I'm not pronouncing that very well.
You did good.
She did a lot of research for this movie that is about death row and death row prisoners. She has put many hours of work interviewing prisoners, interviewing people on death row, interviewing lawyers. She currently, or at the time of Sundance, did a screenwriting class for prisoners, for women prisoners.
Oh wow.
This movie stars Alfre Woodard.
She's so awesome in it.
She plays a warden of a prison, and she is somebody who really does believe in the death penalty. She believes in the idea of a dignified death for people who are condemned to it. And throughout the course of this film, her spirit is just in a place that is completely drained, trying to do honorable work within a broken system. Like, I'm not shy about saying that I am against the death penalty, but I don't think that the film necessarily takes that stance. Would you say, Brad?
I think you bring a lot of your own opinion to the climax of this movie.
Not me specifically, but all human beings, because it's a high emotional.
Right. I mean, I came away the film solidifying my opinion on it.
Yeah, but to me, I think that this is a story that needs to be told. We continue to have to consider everybody in our population and what their rights are going to be, and something with death penalty where the penalty is so
I
permanent.
think what was fascinating watching this at Sundance and talking to people who you were in line with, every time I brought this film up with a festival goer who was not from America, they were like, I didn't think that movie was that good. Like, because of course
They
the death
can't
penalty is
identify
stupid.
with it.
You know, like to the rest of the world, the death penalty looks absurd.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Or a lot of the world, most of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still holding on to it. The last of the
But
first world.
However you feel about Clemency, I think you should watch it. And I don't think it's a blue state or a red state movie. I think it's just a damn good movie that challenges these ideas.
Yeah. We're seeing on my birthday, 12/27.
All right, Brad, your number 4.
My number 4 is an independent feature, like a lot of those that we saw at Sundance. It's that's a lie. It's not independently financed. It's the opposite of independently financed. It's Disney.
Oh, yeah.
It's Star Wars:
Frozen
The Rise
2?
of Star
Oh.
Wars. Skywalker. No. Rise of Skywalker. We're closing out the Rey Ben Solo story, supposedly.
Skywalker saga.
The Skywalker saga is going to come to an end under the leadership of J.J. Abrams and his mystery box. We've seen a couple trailers for it right now. I think the movie, at the very least, looks stunning. The images that came out of those trailers are whoa. As somebody who absolutely adored The Last Jedi and really appreciated where it left all of its characters. Like, honestly, this is not a lie. If there was never to be a Star Wars property again, like if The Last Jedi had been the end of the Skywalker saga, I would be totally satisfied. I would love The Last Jedi to be the end. And so I do have this little bit of reserve going into The Rise of Skywalker because of quote unquote fandom's response to The Last Jedi, that J.J. Abrams has an opportunity to rectify what he believes fans want out of this film. If you listen to him, he talks about how much he liked what Rian Johnson brought to that, and that this film is not altered in any way by the fan response. And sure, I will choose to believe him because I'm a trusting individual. But the Emperor is back. Yeah. Weird. We're returning to the remains of the Death Star. Weird. It's called The Rise of Skywalker, and it's the end of the Skywalker saga. Weird.
Yeah.
What does all that mean? I don't know. I'm really curious to find out. I highly doubt that I'm going to enjoy the movie as much as I enjoyed The Last Jedi, because, again, I freaking loved that movie. And the more I watch it, I start to think, is this my favorite Star Wars film?
Oh, really?
And when people tell me how crappy it is, I go, yes, it is. It is my favorite Star Wars film. So that's where my headspace is, which is probably not healthy.
You said you were doing a rewatch of all
Star Wars entertainment, period.
Where
I'm
you
still
at?
stuck in the Clone Wars. I need to pick up my game if I'm going to blitz through the rest of Clone Wars, Rebels, Revenge of the Sith, Solo, Rogue Nation, all the other Star Wars films.
Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
You got Tom Cruise up in there too. Your brain's
I wish
turned to
Rogue
mush.
Nation was part of it. Rogue One.
Damn. Look, we got to go to the Death
Hey,
Star. Let's get Ethan Hunt. He
Ethan
can get
Hunt's
us
a
in
Jedi,
there.
guys.
I'm telling you, he can get the mission done. I'm just saying.
So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very curious.
That's where Mission Impossible needs to go next,
It
like
might.
in space.
They got two more. They got two movies.
Will
coming
they
up.
beat Fast and Furious to space? That's the question.
Oh,
Come
it's
on,
like
Tom
it's like
Cruise,
it's
you
like
can
the
do it.
U.S. and Russia back in the
Yep,
day. Who's
yep.
going to get to
Come on,
space
Tom
first?
Cruise. I need to see an article about Tom Cruise going up in space right now, prepping training for that movie. Doing a
They're going to
moonwalk,
build a space elevator just for Mission Impossible movie.
so he can jump off of it.
He's like, I'll show you Ad Astra, Brad Pitt.
My number 4 comes out October 18th. I just saw the trailer for this. Brad, you've spoken highly about this. It is The Lighthouse, starring Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. I don't know anything about the movie. The trailer in itself is really cryptic. Brad, you're right. It is shot in that 4:3 ratio, which that coupled with the black and white imagery, that coupled with just the weirdness, insanity of what's going on, and then the level of performances from the two actors on screen who are of the highest caliber. Yeah, I'm sold. I don't need to see anything else.
It could just be about the two of them drunkenly singing in a lighthouse.
Lighthouse, yeah.
Sold.
Yeah, but it seems like it's a little bit more going on than that. It's from the director of Witch, that made Waves. Was it last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So I'm interested to see what's the guy who
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers can sell atmosphere like nobody's business, and so if we have these two actors in the confines of this lighthouse with Robert Eggers giving us atmosphere, then I'm all in. So that's going to be my number 4. Brian, your number 3.
Okay, so I'm kind of all over the place. If someone mentions a movie, I'm taking it off my list. So you mentioned Star Wars, so that was going to be in my top 5. But I'm looking forward to it just as much, so I'm taking it. It's a lot of good stuff I'm looking forward to.
Thank God, because this year.
Yeah, you're right. I'm with you on that one. So I'm going to go to Gemini Man.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do it because you guys are gonna. I know you guys are gonna talk about
Good
somebody's
movies?
gonna yeah. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, like Jojo Rabbit. I know that's coming up, and I'm looking forward to
Why are you excited about Gemini Mind? Gemini Mod. It's late, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Mod.
Jiminy Mod.
Gemini Mod.
I
was got caught on Jiminy Cricket for some reason.
Why are you thinking about him? He's not.
Because nobody with a conscience would make Gemini Man.
I guess I'm more intrigued.
You
Hold
are a
on.
Will Smith guy. We all are, Brian.
I know.
And you love Will Smith, so why not have 2 of them?
I know, just commit. Okay, Gemini Man, number 3. Yes, I'm looking forward to this movie because, let me think.
Jesus.
No, I mean, look, Ang Lee, he likes to try to push technology. It looks interesting. The whole double the frame rate, 48 frames per second. I'm interested to see the technical presentation of this
That
film.
is more for your money.
Yeah.
Twice as many frames.
Did you
It
watch
is,
that Billy Lynn's long halftime
No,
walk?
I did. I heard some mixed things about it. Yeah. But
Not enough frames.
Not enough frames in that one. They should have went up to 60. But I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm a Will Smith fan, and honestly, I want to see the Bad Boys for Life trailer on the big screen, and it's going to play before that movie. Yeah. So, damn it, that's my reason this one is one of my most anticipated. Shit.
Okay.
I wish it was a musical.
Gemini Mod? Why can't I say Gemini Mod? Ah!
You mean Gemini Man? Because you could say it.
Hold
Clearly,
on,
you could
hold
say
on,
Gemini
hold
Man.
on, Hold on. Gemini Man. Why do I say Gemini Mod?
I don't want
I don't
it.
know, Bob Marley.
I think you need to go lay down on a
Brad
couch.
Marley. Lisa,
Yes.
what's your number 3, man?
My number 3 is a movie coming out on Christmas Day. It is Little Women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Initially, I was, and I may have expressed on this very podcast some reservations about revisiting the Little Women story. This would be like the 9th film
Jesus.
version.
wow.
There's a lot of them.
Little
Really?
Women. I read the books as a kid. I very much became a woman to the 1994 Winona Ryder, Christian Bale, the slobber kiss.
What are you making that face for, Brad?
It's now my kink.
I don't want to know
Every
when my
kiss
wife
should be
became
extra.
a woman.
It'd be extra slobbery.
Can I say when I became a man? Do I know when I
No.
became a man?
Do you?
Don't you even dare.
Okay.
But I really, this is directed by Greta Gerwig. The screenplay is by Greta Gerwig and Sarah Polley.
Oh.
And I feel like Greta Gerwig, she's kind of a peer. She will have the correct reverence. Peer, we're not peers like career-wise. We're around the same age. So I feel like she'll have a lot of the same sentiments, hopefully, for the 1994 film and also the book. And from what's been said about the film and I have now officially watched the trailer. I watched the trailer today. It focuses more on their journeys as young women as opposed to spending a lot of time with them as children, all living under the same roof. So this will focus more on Joe, working hard to become a writer, and Meg going to Europe so that she can become a painter. And Amy goes and becomes a painter. Meg
We're
gets
not gonna.
married.
We're
She
not
marries
gonna
a
test
teacher,
it.
I think.
We won't revoke your woman card.
I'm reading my notes. Why did I make my font so small? What I really want to see them get into, and I think every girl who loves the 1994 Little Women film wants to see them get into, is why exactly does Laurie, who in this version is being played by Timothy Chalamet, ends up...
what's his name?
Laurie?
Is Timothy Chalamet
Yeah.
in this movie?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's
Old timey.
his last name. His
Oh.
name is Theodore Lawrence, and he goes by Laurie, and he is
Theodore.
dreamy
I bet.
on the page when he's Christian Bale, when he's Timothy Chalamet, very dreamy. But like, why Laurie ends up with Amy? Because the film kind of gears up like he's going to be with Joe, the writer chick, and
Then there's a swerve.
and she ends up turning him down because
that's
he
why.
sees him more. Yeah, but I mean, like, to me, Amy has always kind of felt like a consolation prize. And of
Oh.
course, in my heart, I'm like,
Damn, Amy.
I'm Joe. If you can't have me, you shouldn't have anybody. Like, nobody.
Dear Lord.
I don't know. In the 1994 film, like, Christian Bale delivers this line in the most devious sounding way, but he essentially says, like, well, I figured I'd be in the March family one way or another. So, like, it sounds like, well, if I can't marry Joe, I'm just going to take whatever sister is laying around, and that happens to be Amy. Wow. And I felt that way in the book, too. So maybe if this film explores that relationship maybe a little bit more.
I bet you it's going to double down on that deviousness.
I don't know. I hope not. What if Laurie turns out like to be just super
Whoa.
insidious?
No.
Chalamet.
Yep. Well, I'm excited.
Yes.
You may not. No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't turn it into a portmanteau. Getting sleepy.
Brad.
Yeah.
My laptop has 19% battery now.
What's your number three, Mom?
I'm 10% under you. I'm at 9%.
Ooh, you're winning.
My number
Almost there.
3 comes out on November 27th, I believe.
Yay.
It's the follow-up to The Last Jedi. It's Ryan Johnson's Knives Out. Super excited about this movie. Really, really looking forward to seeing it at Fantastic Fest, closing out the festival that week. God willing, because who knows what happens with these. I've always gotten the movie I wanted to get.
Yeah.
I've never been shut out at Fantastic Fest.
Knock on wood.
Ooh, knock on wood. I don't want to get shut out of Knives Out. I really like the trailer. It looks like a fun spin on Agatha Christie-like mysteries. Obviously, it has an astonishing cast with Chris Evans and Daniel Craig and Jamie Lee Curtis and Toni Collette and Christopher Plummer and Lakeith Stanfield, Don Johnson, Ricky Lindholm, Frank Oz is in this, M. Emmett Walsh is in this, Noah Segan. The cast is bananas.
Yeah.
So I'm sold on that. But it also, I think, just looks really cool. Oh, man, Michael Shannon's in this movie, too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nuts. Give me this film.
Yeah.
I had another thought and it just left my head, but it looks great.
But you get to bring it up later, maybe.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Ryan Johnson, besides being the director of The Last Jedi and Looper, 2 really cool sci-fi movies. He's made Brick, Brothers Bloom, fan for life just on those 2 movies. And I like the idea of him tackling crime again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And from what I'm hearing, it's definitely going to have some commentary that speaks to our stuff that's happening.
Oh.
And so
You've been reading those TIFF reviews, have you?
A little bit, but honestly, I kind of had a feeling that he was going to try to, because I think he's kind of shedding some of his own frustrations about the reception to Last Jedi.
How could you not?
And I think this film I don't know, this is just my perception. I think this film is going to be kind of a response to that as well.
That's insane. If that's the truth.
But if he can tie in the murder mystery to a response to also tying in his own frustrations about internet culture or whatever the case is.
Hopefully, it's a big F you and a big middle finger.
I know it's going to be eat shit. Yeah. You definitely eat shit.
Yeah, that actually feels a little bit like that. But it just feels like this movie is going to speak a little bit deeper to something that he's been kind of bottled up.
Super excited.
Who doesn't want to kill a family member?
Dear Lord. All right, my number 3.
I'm an only child, and I love my parents. Mommy and Daddy, you're safe.
My number 3 is Jojo Rabbit, because in Taika Waititi we trust. We love that guy here at the podcast. I've been dying for his next film since Thor Ragnarok. Actually, truth be told, I've been dying for his next film since Eagle vs. Shark. I love his sensibility. I love his comedic sensibility. I love his acting ability. He's great in What We Do in the Shadows. I love his ability as a director to pull the performances that he gets from his actors, and not to take anything away from their acting ability, but I think half of what we get on screen, it does fall on a good director to be able to coax performances out of actors sometimes, and he seems very capable of doing that. I saw the teaser. I haven't seen the full trailer. Technically, I really didn't even need to see the teaser. Like I said, I was sold when they mentioned his name, but I'm curious to see how I'm curious to see how it's handled with him playing Adolf Hitler and how that character is used in the narrative with the larger themes of his story. It's got a great cast. Scarlett Johansson's in it. I'm not familiar with the kid.
Sam Rockwell.
Rebel
Rebel
great.
Wilson, Stephen Merchant. Yeah.
The kid I'm assuming is a newcomer. And
this is his first movie.
And so if it's anything like Ricky, the kid who plays Ricky in Hunt for the Wilder People, if his performance is anything like that, if working with Taika is presents something as good as that, then we're in for a treat. So you guys are getting to see this at Fantastic Fest this year, and so and it comes out shortly after that.
Yeah, not too. We won't have to wait far for JoJo at all.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see that. Every time that the teaser trailer plays, and whatever audience I'm with when that shows, it always kills. And so it's cool to see. It's cool to know that I'm not the only person, or we're not the only people who are on the Taika train. It's cool to be out in public and know that other people are digging what he's doing and looking forward to what he's doing and responding well to it. So that's going to be cool seeing that with an audience. So that's my number 3. Brian, your number 2.
So, like I said, I'm doing mine a little bit differently. Since you brought up Knives Out and you brought up Jojo Rabbit, those are taken out because I'm looking forward to those just as much. So it gives me a chance to talk about some other possibly bad movies, Lisa.
I have regrets for my words of the past.
No,
I used
no,
them
no,
to
no.
hurt,
No,
but
no,
not
no.
to heal and bring people together.
But a movie I'm looking forward to is 21 Bridges. It's finally coming.
Oh.
It's been pushed back. Damn it, D.
What?
Okay,
I'm
never mind.
looking at the board.
I know. Yeah, we're audio, so nobody can see you.
I don't want you to see it.
But 21 Bridges, it's been pushed back. It was supposed to come out in the summer. Then it's got like a September release date. Now it's coming out Thanksgiving. Produced by the Russo brothers, starring Chadwick Boseman. I love Chadwick Boseman. Now, I want to see him do something outside of the character of Black Panther. And this feels like almost like a throwback 90s kind of, kind of like a
It feels like 16 Blocks.
a little bit.
Richard Donner-esque kind of thing.
Yeah, and I dig movies like that, and this one looks like it could be, especially just with the cast. And I forget the other gentleman that's the antagonist of the piece. He was in If Beale Street Could Talk.
and Selma.
And, oh yeah. He was in Selma as well, and he's a good young actor. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to. Oh, and Taylor Kitsch is in it. But you know what? I dig-
Damn.
No, but just how they've tried to push Taylor Kitsch down our throats is like the next big like leading man.
Did they?
But
Is it Gary Carr
uh,
who plays Hawk?
no, actually, let me see if I can pull that up.
I haven't watched the trailer for this yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I dig it. I like it. What
Sienna
is it?
Miller's in it.
Yeah, Keith David is in it. J.K. Simmons is in it.
Oh, I like all those people.
Oh, Stephen James. Yeah, he's the young man that was also in If Beale Street Could Talk, which I thought he gave a really, really good performance in that as well. So yeah,
Oh,
just
that dude. Okay.
yeah. So it feels like a throwback, and I kind of like a couple of these throwback '90s films, and especially within the action genre. So yeah, 21 Bridges. I'm looking forward to that. You know. So yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Wife Dort.
Yes.
You're number 2.
My number 2, we all know how much I really loved The Last Jedi. I am one of the heroes for it. So obviously, I am super major anticipating Knives Out. And we've already
Yeah.
talked about it. It's a trailer I don't get tired of. I think it promises some really funny performances. I love plots and schemes.
Yes, you do.
I hope that they really go full on whodunit. I want to be surprised and mind blown at the end. And all the things Brad said.
Jamie Lee Curtis's line delivery in that trailer, when she says, "You mean the party before?"
Yeah.
Like that's so great.
Tony Collette's face.
Oh,
yeah.
Too. I
Face
want to
acting,
get
yeah.
that tattooed on my face. That's going to be my quizzical look.
That's such a good quizzical look.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah.
Good pick, Lisa.
Thanks. I have excellent taste.
All right. All right, B, you're number 2.
My number 2 is your number 3. It's Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi's new
Yay.
film. I mean, yeah, we're in the bag for all Taika Waititi films. I don't think I've seen one that I dislike in any way. Actually, I think I love all of them. I think I would use the word love for every single film that he's made. Hunt for the Wilder People is certainly my favorite, but of course I adore Thor Ragnarok, and What We Do in the Shadows is amazing. Boy is really cool. Eagle versus Shark, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember liking it. But everything turned for me in Hunt for the Wilder People, and I think it's the way he can balance comedy with extremely troubling ideas, and there is an uncomfortable nature to what's going on in Hunt for the Wilder People, and if that story had been handled by any other filmmaker, I don't think they would have pulled it off. I don't think the film would have been nearly as sensitive as it is.
Yeah.
And so when I hear that we're going to watch a movie about Adolf Hitler as an imaginary friend to this little Nazi youth kid during, World War II Germany, and I would not trust that plot to any other filmmaker other than Taika Waititi.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? His Hitler is damn funny too.
He is funny in that trailer.
So I don't know. I'm fascinated. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 2, I've settled it. I realized what my number 1 film is. But before I get to that, I will say my number 2 most anticipated film of the fall is Todd Phillips' Joker. I just saw, when I went to see It Chapter 2, I mentioned that I saw it at Tyson's, their new IMAX auditorium, and that trailer played, and it blew up the entire screen. Like, it's shot in, at the very least, the Limax format. And so that image, that opening shot of New York with the subway train, and just all of the image is so striking. And then with the close-ups of Joaquin Phoenix's face, it's just so enveloping. And then from what I'm hearing, and then even before what I was hearing about the reviews about his performance, just what I was getting from the teaser trailer, what I could see, as far as his level of performance, was infinitely intriguing to me. More so than wanting to see, how it ties into any, superhero lore, or how it ties into Batman, or if there's going to be mention of him or whatever. I'm genuinely 100% more am mostly excited to watch Joaquin Phoenix act, just to see him work, just to see his interpretation of this iconic character, this iconic villain, and especially in light of being in the shadow of Heath Ledger's legendary performance, and just to see how someone says, okay, as frightening as it may be, I'm just going to step off into the void of this fear and perform and see what that is. I'm so curious to see what he does, and I've been hearing that he's an incredible performer in this movie. So that just really excites me. And then it doesn't hurt that I'm here. I mean, I hear the movie's going to be pretty divisive, but as far as the positive reviews I'm hearing of the film, I mean, yeah, hopefully I take that away. I come away feeling that way too. But mostly I'm just curious to see Joaquin Phoenix do his thing.
Having survived the fallout of BVS and Star Wars: The Last Jedi,
Yeah.
I am not looking forward to the online conversation around Joker.
Yeah.
But I'm extremely curious about the film itself.
Yeah.
I would not be without the presence of Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
The trailer is very pretty looking. Lawrence Sher is the cinematographer. I mean, it looks gorgeous. But it's those close-ups, like you're saying. I mean, like, here I am, and I'm finding relatability and empathy for this mad creature, and that also kind of worries me. Sort of like what I was saying about the Rambo film. Like, is the Joker the hero I want of 2019? I don't know, but damn it, I'm gonna be there opening day.
Oh yeah.
Same. All right, B. Have you whittled it down? Have you narrowed down to what your number one?
Yeah.
Because you said you had 8, so that means you had a definite 5. And
But
3
the
to
thing
choose.
is, you guys know I'm doing this differently. Like when you guys mention the movie, I'm taking those off my list.
Oh, okay. So,
So-
what do you have left?
This may be a little lackluster. but-
Oh.
for you guys, but I'm excited for the movie.
Don't
not
let
for
us,
us.
don't let us bully you.
Yeah.
Okay, Zombieland 2.
Yeah, double tap. Pop, pop.
Double tap. I love Zombieland. It's one of my favorite, I guess, zombie movies within the last 10 years. 10-year anniversary. But yeah, I love those
Damn, are you serious? The first one came out 10 years
Yep.
ago?
Yeah, oh no.
Shit.
And then everybody's coming back. Abigail Breslin.
Yes.
Emma Stone.
Yes.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yep. And your boy.
And my boy Woody Harrelson. Tallahassee. I want an action figure of Tallahassee. I've been asking for that since I saw that first movie. But I love the chemistry of all 40s actors and these characters together, and to see them come back and all the new additions that they're going to bring into the story as well.
I thought that trailer was funny, man.
Yeah, it was funny. I'm it's the same way with other movies like Bad Boys 3 that I'm looking forward to. I'm a little hesitant, but I'm just so happy to be able to kind of spend more time with these characters because I really, really love that first film and the chemistry between them. So I'm excited to see them on these new adventures. And even Emma Stone said that she would love to just do Zombieland movies every 10 years. So, if we get kind of like a... what's the film that we talked about that was divisive? The Before series, Before Sunrise.
Oh yeah,
Sunset.
midnight.
Yeah, because Julie Delpy,
yeah.
she was like, yeah, I would love to come back like another 20 years from now and do these characters again. I don't know if we want to see that relationship any further.
One of them's in the ground.
Damn.
But yeah, I like that idea of like, yeah, let's revisit these characters every so many years. But I don't know. I'm really looking forward to Zombieland 2.
I'm looking forward to seeing it too, B. That wasn't a bad choice.
I haven't seen Zombieland.
What?
Yeah.
Is it VF?
No.
Brian?
It's not.
No.
Yeah,
not
Amber
even
Heard.
worth giving it a go?
Oh yeah, Amber Heard.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Amber Heard.
Yeah,
In the hotel. She's
the blonde
yeah, I forget her name.
becomes a zombie.
Yeah, she's like roommate number 4 or something. That's her name in the movie. Something.
You need to rewatch it. It's 10 years ago, man.
Shit, I didn't know she was in it. Is it in the end? The
No,
beginning?
it's
No,
in the
beginning.
beginning.
In the
It's in
beginning.
Oh.
in like his apartment.
Oh, that's her?
Yeah.
That's Amber Heard.
Okay. All right. Mind blown. Anyway, while I clean this up, Lisa, your number one.
My number one is Darren's number 3 and Brad's number 2. And Brian is clearly taking his own path and living his truth. But on his true list, it would be
Yes.
on his list as well. My number one is Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, yay.
And I don't know if I can add anything to the conversation that you guys haven't already said, except for the trailer starts with a German version of the Monkees / Neil Diamond song, I'm a Believer. I heard those opening chords and my heart skipped a beat. To me, like, I have no reservations with Taika Waititi handling the
Nazi stuff.
Holocaust. I think, like, I haven't read any of the TIFF response, but I did see, like, one of those splashy headlines of Taika Waititi going, like, the message of this film is going to be resonant with the issues of today. And I do have fear in my heart for what is going on with our current social, political climate. And I do think that there are people that are holding on to their beliefs out of naivete and a childlike unwillingness to see the truth and to challenge their worldview or see the world through somebody else's eyes. And from what I have gathered from the trailer, this child is challenged in a very real way, and he's forced to adjust who he thinks Hitler is, from a hero and someone to emulate and for someone to be an imaginary friend to someone who should be questioned and challenged for what is right. So I'm super excited to see this film. I'm super excited to have the conversation that this film invokes. And I too, toot Taika Waititi train. I think he's going to do something very extraordinary and something very special because that's what he does. And I'm excited. Jojo Rabbit.
I got a feeling this is going to be like on my top 10 of the year.
It wouldn't be hard.
It better be.
It would be hard to get onto your top 10. It just needs to be a good movie.
Well, see,
The bar is
I'm
not
so
high.
so grim right now. I just started trying to put my top 10 list together for 2019 based on what we have so far, and I came up with 8 movies.
That's so
Normally I
sad
make
for you,
25 films in my list.
Yeah.
And now I've got 8.
I'm sorry, man.
We've got 4 months of the year.
I know.
left.
I could just be, creating my own narrative and spiraling in cinematic
I
despair.
mean, you're not wrong, because this has been kind of a
Really?
a blob.
I'm
I mean, when you're
sorry,
talking
y'all.
about like some of the best movies of the year that
Yeah.
you want to have on your top 10, like
Yeah,
like
out of everything else you've seen this year, 10 movies that are better than the rest of them. Like,
yeah, but when I look at that list, I'm just like, compared to other years,
don't
and
compare it to. It's not top 10 of the decade.
Well,
It's
no,
compared
no.
to this
I-
year.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Darren
to this point-
has a healthy attitude.
Yeah, to
The
this
math
point right
can
now.
be done, but is it done joyfully?
Aw. Well, I hope you all end up finding joy in your top 10, man.
We will. We always do.
We do.
Um,
Yeah.
Brad has Hellboy 2019.
There you go. See? Boom. Your number one's already picked. So you got
Boom.
the hard part out of the way. Speaking of finding joy in your life.
Yes.
My number one.
Wait, what about Brad's number 1?
Oh, did we skip you?
We did skip me.
Oh, we did. Sorry.
But that's
you,
okay. I
Lisa.
don't have much to contribute
number
to the
one.
conversation
Why?
because I picked a film that you picked. My number one most anticipated film of the fall comes out on October 18th as well. That's interesting. Is that true? Does this movie come out on October 18th? Apparently it does. It is Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse, starring Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
And I love that trailer. I loved The Witch.
Yeah.
And I love Lovecraft. And I love black and white. And I love 4:3 ratios. Looks like we're going to get a really creepy, weird.
Wait, why do you say Lovecraft? Is that
Because it's got a Lovecraftian vibe to it. I think it really does.
Will it have elements of that in it?
Well, I think it has a Shadow over Innsmouth kind of vibe to it.
Oh, shit.
Based on what I see here on IMDb, if you click on the third cast member of this film,
It's Cthulhu.
no,
God
but
damn.
it does ruin what the plot is. Of the
I'm
movie,
not gonna read
possibly.
it. Oh shit. Okay.
And maybe even contradicts what I just said about Lovecraft. But
No.
looking at the trailer, it has a Lovecraft vibe to it to me, and
I watched that trailer and I was like, this looks like a Brad movie.
it's super Brad movie. And yeah, so number one, The Lighthouse.
Do you know what it reminded me of was Sailor Twain? That
Yeah,
graphic
and I
novel.
liked Sailor
He
Twain.
did.
Lisa did not.
I thought it was okay.
Oh. Okay.
It
Well,
had mermaids in it.
It did.
I like mermaids. Hopefully, Lighthouse has mermaids or mermen. Mermens. What is a man-made?
A
merman.
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 Merman. Yeah.
So why isn't it a mer woman then?
You know what? I don't know why they have to genderify fish people anyway.
Right.
It's a spectrum, people.
They're Atlanteans.
Mer dude.
Just call them Atlanteans.
A Mer Butler.
Yeah, there you go. All right, mer butler.
Mer Butler.
It makes sense.
Mermaids and Mer Butler.
It
No,
makes
it's all
sense,
just
though.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
It makes sense though.
We should make a movie and it should be called The Mer Butler.
It makes sense though. All right, that's the answer I was looking for. Okay, thank you. That's the explanation. All right. Speaking of mer butlers, my number one is Junho Bong's Parasite.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer. In the trailer, I don't know what's going on. I decided not to read the subtitles in the trailer because I want to stay as ambiguous on
I
it.
do the same thing with foreign film trailers. I never read the subtitles.
Yeah, the movie looks nuts. If I had read the subtitles, all that shit probably would have made sense to me. But just looking at the imagery, which is beautiful, by the way, it's a gorgeous trailer, and it just the cinematography looks amazing, and it just makes the goings on look even more intriguing. I will watch anything he directs. The cast is great. The last film that he did, the one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah, Okja on
Okja.
Netflix. On Netflix.
Yeah,
I liked Okja.
that
Oh,
might
yeah?
be
Yeah.
might be my least favorite of his.
Same.
Still good.
Still good,
It's
but-
still
Yeah.
good.
I love
But it was no
I know you
Hippopotamus.
the host. I like Snowpiercer
Love the
more.
host. Host might be my favorite.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to Parasite. Is this playing at Fantastic Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be out here shortly after. I don't know. I like I said, I don't know what the plot is. I just know that what I see in the trailer looks amazing and compelling. All the performances look great, and I just know that his output, he's pretty consistent, and so that's enough to sell me a ticket. And the reason why, I want to see this more so than anything else on my list. I mean, I'm really intrigued and curious to see Joker. But like I said, I want to see Joker for one specific reason, and that's to see Joaquin Phoenix's performance. So to compare that with why I want to see this film, it's like there are a bunch of other factors for this film. I do want to see the performance of the actors in this film, but I also want to see the director flex his muscle once again. I want to see, the cinematography. I'm curious as to the narrative. Whereas with the Joker, I'm not really hung up on what the story is going to be, because for me personally, I like my Joker with a mysterious past. I don't need a backstory for him. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to enjoy or find this one compelling in this film, but I like that I don't know why he does what he does. That makes it more scary to me, the unknown, like fearing what you do not know. I don't know why someone would do the things that he does, so that would disturb me more and make me find that more troubling. So I don't know, the story of why he's going to be that way or what's going to happen to him, I'm not really hung up on that. Like I said, I'm genuinely just interested to see Joaquin Phoenix do his thing. Whereas the story for Parasite, it just looks intriguing. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's going to happen to those characters in that movie. So I don't know. And I don't know. It's just the Korean cinema. It's some of my favorite stuff, man. So I'm looking forward to that, especially having rewatched Train to Busan. I showed my lady Train to Busan a week or two ago, and I know it just got me falling back in love with Korean cinema again. So I'm gonna watch The Man from Nowhere next at some point this week because I saw like a clip of it was like a video of the top 10 best action movies, and that movie was like an honorable mention.
Man from Nowhere?
Yeah, and it made me want to go back and rewatch that film. But anyway, I say all that to say, Parasite, my number one most anticipated movie of the fall. Honorable mention comes out on December 20th.
Star Wars?
No, Cats.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
You're
Neither.
into
It's
Mr.
neither.
Mistopheles?
Does Star Wars
December
and
20th.
Cats come out on the same day?
Yeah.
20th. Yeah.
Yeah. It's odd, right?
You can say Jumanji, but that's
All
the
right.
week before.
Good luck.
Good luck,
Good
Cats.
luck. Right? So that's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Hit us up at ItModcast on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and let us know what your top 5 most anticipated films for the fall are. You can follow Brian at the Turtle Dork on Twitter, at the Turtle Dork 1 on Instagram, and at Brian William Young on Facebook. Wife Dork is at Sidewalk Siren and at Bake Dork on Twitter and Instagram, and she's also at Sidewalk Siren on Letterboxd. And Brad Gullickson is at Mouth Dork on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd, and Untapped. What was that thing you kept saying?
Cameo.
No, Gemini. What were you calling it?
Jumping him on.
Gemini.
Jibbity mon. Jibbity mon.
And I am Darren Smith, the Disco Dork, on all social medias. That's going to do it for us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully you've seen The Hustlers. That's going to be our review cast.
Hustlers.
Oh, yeah. Hustlers.
Hustlers, yeah.
The Hustlers.
Sorry.
The Hustlers.
Hustlers. That's going to be our review cast for our next week in Dork. So watch that because we're probably going to spoil that. Oh, thank you all for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And until next time.
I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Oh,
Can't do it.
do it.
Oh, no.